Hey everyone, I'm here on the first episode of the podcast, I Startup, with Eyal from Parknav. He's the founder and CEO of this amazing company, and we're going to introduce him, and he will tell us what his company is about, where it came from, and just so we can learn about this amazing technology. So Eyal, let's hear your background.
Hello, Shaul. Thank you. Great to meet you, and great to be here. And I'm very excited to be the first in your long and successful podcast, and really great initiative. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Israel. I moved to the US about 25 years ago. Went to Stanford for my PhD in computer science, a couple of years at Berkeley as a postdoc, and then became a professor in Urbana-Champaign, University of Illinois over there.
Wow.
It's a top 5 engineering school. For those of you who don't know, the transistor, YouTube, a bunch of very cool things. PayPal came out of there.
Wow.
So quite a few successes. Yeah, and about 8 years ago, 2013, 9 years ago almost, I left the academic life after some successes and started a company called Parknav. And what Parknav does is it tells you in real time where there's parking. So it tells you in this street there is parking, in the other street there is no parking, 24/7. Whether payment is required, a permit is required, it's completely free. And it's available primarily, the initial aim was for consumers, but the way that we make money is we sell the information to companies like BMW, like Deutsche Telekom, the parent company of T-Mobile, Siemens, and other companies that then bundle it into their solutions and give it to their customers. So that's how we make money. We're still I would call it kind of a seed, between seed and Series A stage company. We have some successes. We crossed $1 million in revenue in 2019. We grew the number of customers that we had 3 times in the last year. And we really have grown, kind of changed the team, learned a lot. Yeah, so that's the longer story, but in general, we're doing really great. We're raising a crowdfunding crowdfunding right now. So for at least the next few weeks, at least, people can invest in the company as if it was public. It's not public. It's still a very early stage company.
Wow.
So, but because of deregulation in the US or regulation, there is ability to do that, and we're doing that right now. So this is where we are.
So this is where we are right now. Now, tell me what was the idea? Who came up with this idea? When did this happen? This is obviously this is something so needed in regards to anyone driving, especially in a city. Parking is the worst thing. So when did you come with this idea? Or who came up with it, and how'd you create something out of that?
So there are many places, and to put it into a few simple kind of like storylines, there are quite a few things that coalesce together. I think that the initial idea of parking, when I lived in Tel Aviv for half a year, kind of during my tenure track at Urbana-Champaign, I spent half a year in Tel Aviv and I couldn't find parking. My dad won't come to my place just because, hey man, I won't be able to find parking in the middle of Tel Aviv. And when I would come back from work, it would take me, if I came at 7 p.m., it would be 30 minutes looking for parking. If I came at 9, I could just give it up, just go sit somewhere and wait until 1 in the morning, and then go and find a parking spot. It was really ridiculous. And I was an AI guy by then for more than 10 years, and been doing AI research from my time at Stanford and before, and then as a professor. And I felt like, it cannot be that AI cannot at least give me the information about where there's an event. I cannot create parking spots, but at least I will know what's available. It's not rocket science. It shouldn't be.
No.
And yeah, that's where That's where it started.
So okay, so you have obviously there was a problem, right? A big problem, and you saw the problem, so you wanted to fix it. Where did you go from there? Like once you realized that you wanted to start creating this, this product or this, this company, where'd you go from there? Like what route did you take to get, like obviously there was ups and downs, but what route did you take to get to where you are today, where it's actually a real company and actually it's usable, which we'll talk
I,
about later.
so I mean, the reality is I was really naive.
Mhm.
So I was at Stanford in the late 90s, where some of my colleagues and friends created Google and a few other successful companies. And so from the outside, and I was focused on studying. And so from the outside, it seemed like, yeah, they just created something and people just started using it.
Exactly.
And that was a big naivete moment. And I felt, I'll just create it. So there was kind of when you create startups, from the outside, there are a number of risks that you need to be aware of. There is the technological risk, there's the market risk, there's execution risk. In Parknav, there were two risks. Two risks is, by the way, too much. You need, when you create a startup nowadays, I know, you need really at most one risk. Two is just too big. So technological risk was, how would you create it? I didn't know, there was process of experimentation and modeling and trying to understand even what's possible.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it's possible, and then how to scale it. How would you scale it for, cities and countries?
Yeah.
And from a market perspective, so how are you going to make money?
Yeah.
I mean, I was very naive. I was thinking, it'll figure it out. No, it doesn't.
You,
Somebody actually needs to
you have to make it.
create.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you started the, I guess, figuring out the product, or not even the product, just trying to figure out the AI. What was that, 2013? What year is that?
I started it in 2009 when I
Oh,
started thinking about it. Actually, 2008 when I was in Tel Aviv.
yeah.
So I was thinking maybe we'll do some sort of a market making mechanism where people will tell you when they need a spot.
And then you'll try to
And
find it.
long story short, not enough people actually are incentivized, even if you give them money. You don't have a critical mass of people that tell you that they're leaving a spot, and so there had to be a different approach. And
Interesting.
there was ways at the time that was doing crowd sourcing of information
Mhm.
from people driving, but it's much harder to find out where people parked and where they left.
Correct.
The information is not out there. It's not easily kind of like obtained
Yeah.
from mobile phones. And so even today, Waze doesn't have precise information about that.
No.
So yeah, so it required a lot of those steps of figuring it out. Yeah.
Okay. So the idea came about in 2009, and then between then and now, like, just you don't have to tell me the full story. Obviously, it's too long. But what has been like some really crazy moments, let's say going through stuff, or some amazing moments where like you actually figured something out that was like you didn't think was going to happen? Like, what are some, like, there's so many, there must be so many stories in these past, I don't know what, 14 years? I don't know how many years, but there must be so many things. Maybe you can give me a few, like, just so we can understand, how hard it was, or what you had to go through, or just some of the successes to get here.
So I'd say this: the company as it is today, it kind of got reinvented a couple of times.
Makes sense.
So the real launch in my mind today is 2015.
Hmm.
So 2015, right? The day before 2015, we got our first investment. So
Wow.
our first real investment from a lead investor who's still with us and is leading strong. His name is Steven Rulak. He's based in Silicon Valley, and he's been doing not AI, technology for real estate investment.
Hmm.
So technology and analytics for real estate, and so he understood some angle. So he was the first investor, and it made a big difference.
Yeah.
It was, it's not like a 10K investment. It was a quite sizable investment, first real investment that I raised in my life.
Wow.
And it was, and that's when some of the team became full time. Before, I was a professor full time, and in 2013 I left, but we had no money, So I ended up, switching a bunch of gigs and doing a few things, and then, but 2015 it really started. So the realization is that, first, before you do it full time, it's very easy to think that you have a company, and because you created something and people use it even, and you even have sales a little bit. We had the first sale with BMW in 2012 when I was still a professor. It's kind of like a strike of luck. So here's you were asking what are the memorable moments. It's like I was sure that we got like this nice, very large check at the time. For me, it's like a year salary for an expensive person, but it was not. I thought, now money will just kind of start flowing in. No, right? No, it didn't. And I went through quite a few disappointing moments. And I had amazing partners that that did a lot of the work. So my co-founder Sergey, who's no longer with the company, he was on the technical side, and I was also a technical person. So we didn't really have the right business in there, and we had great business guys, Jeremy and Gary. One had a business development experience, and Jeremy was just a business kind of powerhouse, I would call it. And they, everybody worked hard, but it's kind of like being in a boat and people are rowing and working hard, but the boat is barely moving.
Correct. The boat feels like it's sinking, even though it's not. So wait, so when, okay, so 2015, you got validated. You're like, okay, this is real. This is happening because of the big investment, and you have like that's a real backer. If he believes in you, then you have to believe in yourself too, right? That's like it's happening. Now in 2015, was the product what it was today, or is it completely different?
So I'd say that the technology was mature enough that we could start building more. So I said, there are two risks, right? The technology risk and the market risk. The technology was mature enough that I was 100% confident that this approach would work as a solution to people's parking information problem. Okay, so people could actually rely on it. I relied on it living in Chicago at the time. And then afterwards in San Francisco, I relied on it. Friends of mine relied on it. We did some parties, people came and they found parking in an instant. It was incredible in a place that was hard to park. So it actually worked. It was actually scalable. We had 4 cities at the time, and Chicago, Munich, we had Hanover and San Francisco. And so it could work, but I mean, I look at where we are today. So I said the company reinvented itself a couple of times. So one was really 2015, and then 2020 with the pandemic. When the pandemic hits and nobody drives, nobody looks for parking, it's like, what do you do? And also it's a time when we reached a certain point in the development of the company where everybody was great, but they didn't have the experience of how to get a company from seed stage to an exit, to a $1 billion company. And so we really painfully we had to say goodbye to a number of amazing people because you just need to bring the right people on board. And I love these people, and I'm still in touch with them. But it's we really created like almost half the company from scratch, and now we have people that really understand how to get it from seed to exit, and it makes a huge difference. Management meetings, much less arguments about, oh no, we should go this way, we should go that way. No. Everybody understands. Oh yeah, we need to this, and they're very constructive.
On the same page. Yeah. Same page. Now, the big thing, I guess, for the audience that's listening is we all have parking problems. especially us, everyone in big cities. Just tell me about how does it work? What am I like? Let's say I don't know anything about it. Let's say how would I use it? And maybe you can give me a little back, like just explain maybe how the technology works a little bit, just so we understand what this is, because this sounds like a miracle almost. You get to somehow find parking before you see it. I mean that. So just tell me about that. Just
So that's awesome. So the first, I mean, to everybody out there at home, this technology actually works. It launched in BMW cars in 2017, in Germany and the US. Since then, the technology already grew beyond the two countries. So Parknev now covers most metropolitan areas in Europe and the US.
wow.
Now, we don't provide it as a mobile app yet. We plan towards the end of this year, 2022, to have a mobile app that's modern, that's available in the market for consumers. But primarily, it goes through the cars, through other applications that are out there. What it does, let's say in New York City, we now cover most of New York City, actually. So Manhattan, Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn. We're starting to do New Jersey a little bit later in the year, so Hoboken and so forth.
So it's built into the car? How does it work? How do I find the parking with it?
Right. So I mean, as an application, if it's a mobile app or if in the car, let's say what you do is you drive and you say, well, I want to park at a certain place. Let's say I want to go to this restaurant. It actually drives you. So first it shows you in some sort of a signal for every street. Is there parking there? Yes or no. So in a BMW car, the color scheme is BMW's color scheme, which is they put like dark blue on the street segment if there is parking there available right now.
Wow.
In the app, the user interface that we have so far that probably will go into production later this year is a little bit similar to red, green, blue. Sorry, red, green, yellow, like in traffic. But it's a little confusing if it's the same colors as you see in like Google Maps. You see traffic. Then we're planning to do it slightly different colors, so it's clear what happens in every street segment. There is parking there right now, yes or no. If you go, by the way, for those of you living in New York, there is a page dedicated to New York. So if you just Google Parknav New York City, you'll find that page. And I think some of the pages of the city of New York actually point at our page. And you see it, you can just click it on different areas of the city and just see the map. Now, while you're driving, you cannot do that. So the app and also the car, what they do is they navigate you. So hands-free, turn-by-turn navigation. You don't need to look at anything. It just tells you drive straight, make a right, another right, and there's a spot.
So you're saying how does it know there's a spot? Is there satellite? What?
Right. So how does it know? How does the technology work? So at a high level, and this is the part that I forewarn you, you won't believe it.
Yeah.
At the high level, the basic part is prediction, just based on historical information, works fine. It's not great. It's not great, but it's kind of like, those of you who drive regularly, they like you have like a secret spot that you kind of know, you have the few spots that always kind of recur. So think about combining those perfect spots from everybody.
Wow.
So think about that. That's what the system learns by looking at historical information. Now, we actually go and collect that historical information. We ask drivers, we pay them to drive around, collect the information for us. And then we process that information. And that's a historical database that we have for every city that we bring up. Now, that works okay. It's not great, but it works okay. Well enough that I use that kind of stuff everywhere I go.
It's so amazing.
But then you combine all kinds of other real-time information. So that's where it becomes like super nice, because you do get real-time information from phones, we buy that information. So cellular phones, cars, satellites, sensors in the ground, IoT sensors at home, a number of things, but
Yeah.
kind of at a general principle, think about it like the way that there are companies that do automatic trading of stocks.
Right.
You know, they take a lot of inputs. That kind of technology, that's the kind of technology that we bring into work here.
So it's based on a mixture of like prediction, like I guess prediction of past prediction, and also incorporating like actual, like I don't know, customer feedback or actual knowing like from physically when they're leaving. And when you combine those two together, they work amazing together. That's what you're saying. Because one without the other, it's good, but it's not 100%. Um, that is really interesting. I mean, it that's really amazing. And I'm just is listen, this is something that like this is revolutionary. This is something that will just it saves you so much aggravation, so much time. Um, honestly, I can't wait for the app because I mean I don't have a BMW, but that would be I guess any car would be able to access this information. Um,
Yep.
so
The cool thing about Parknav, you know, it's that it's not just the Parknav platform is not just about parking. So the same technology, we're starting to use it already for doing other stuff. So predicting if the a charging station will be available for your electrical vehicle, for example, or predicting if you'll have a place to sit outside the coffee place that you like to sit in, or predicting if they will have the soy milk that you like, or they will run out, or
interesting.
predicting if it'll be dirty in the street at that point. You know, will the garbage be overflowing, or will there be a homeless encampment there, or will there be dangerous situations, or will there be, you know, will your car get burglarized? Now, a lot of these, you know, have a lot of inputs, right? And things change all the time, especially, you know, in such situations where, you know, the burglars can look at the app and say, oh, he says that there won't be any burglary there, I'm going to go there. So there's always that, but things like trash and things that are don't have adversarial
Yeah.
relationship, we are starting to already do that prediction, and the same kind of customers are looking for exactly that information. So we sell to cities, the cities also want this information. We sell to car companies, they also want that information. So
Wow.
they want to guide their
Yeah.
drivers for the right place.
Okay. So the technology is in. Tell me first of all, what cities are you in right now? I know you work out of three places, right? Tell me about that. So you work out of.
So we are based in US, and we have subsidiaries in Israel and in Germany.
Sure.
So the headquarters in the US, we actually have two headquarters. One is in Chicago and the other one San Francisco. In Israel, it's in Tel Aviv, and in Germany, it's in Munich, Germany. So it's Munich, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of like the capital of luxury car manufacturers. So it's Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and Porsche are all very close. Yeah, and as far as where we're available in all, like in the US, it's Philadelphia, Boston, DC, New York, Miami, of course, West Coast, Seattle, San Jose, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, you know, Phoenix.
Yeah. All these major cities are getting this technology. And honestly, that's why I wanted you here, because I didn't even know this existed. So I'm assuming a lot of people also didn't. But now this is a game changer for everyone. This is this changes everything in regards to driving, especially I mean in regards to everything else that you can use this technology for. Um, so the companies, okay, so you work out of three places. What do you okay? So what's the future like? What's the future? What does the future hold for you? What's the next step in the company? I'm assuming it's the app, right? But what do you have to say?
So as far as product is concerned, we're working with more and more companies that want to embed this,
Mhm.
car companies in particular, but not only. So we're working on making the product more precise.
Mhm.
So right now it's at 80, 85 precision. We're bringing it to 90, 95% precision. And we're doing also work on creating this product for cities and store owners, so they can analyze, see historical information about what happened, what would happen, and also provide that information to their customers. So if you're a dentist or a lawyer and people come to your office, then on your site there will be like a little map that shows the people arriving, when to come.
Mm,
That will be easy parking.
interesting.
So you could do better planning this way. The cities themselves, they need the information to do some planning and operations. So figure out, people tell them that there's a parking problem, but where is the parking problem?
Mhm.
So, and how will I solve it? We give them those tools now. This is, it came out a few months ago, kind of our first version. And we're starting to see this picking up quite nicely now. So that's as far as where the product is. As far as customers, we are expecting a growth of 200%, 3 times what we had last year. So we will, I expect, reach. It's not that many customers. Our customers are quite large. So, but we're probably going to cross the 20 customers this year. That will make us ready for our Series A and really scale the company to be well, embedded in everything, every information, every interface to the driver.
The
So
companies,
that's where we're going. Yeah.
20 companies, a lot of them I'm assuming are car companies, right? Or all of
Mm.
them, or a mix.
Very much a mix. A car company is a huge customer, because every car customer, but even the smallest car company brings 1 million vehicles or 10 million
Yeah.
as users. So they're very slow and very hard to acquire. And usually it's a multi-year kind of sales process. Last year we acquired our second paying customer. That's a car manufacturer. I expect this year, either 2 or 3 in total car manufacturers will work with us, and that will be huge, of course.
Of course.
Now, besides them, we work with telecoms, railway companies, technology companies that provide to transportation and mobility, logistics, and and cities, of course. We have a good success in mobile apps. So meaning apps that want to embed the information just as a module. So let's say if you have a City of New York app, then it's cool to also have this navigation and ability to tell you where there's parking in real time, or predictive what will be in 2 hours. It's a valuable thing to the app users.
Of course.
So we have a good pickup there. I would say if I had to predict, maybe half our customers in 2022 will be like this.
Wow. So I mean, from what I see, there's not even, I don't even know if you know where it can go, because there's just there's so many avenues of approach here. I mean, you're starting off with solving the parking problem, but then there's so many more problems that can be solved with this technology. So that's going to be very exciting, honestly. That's going to be very exciting for you, for the company, also for all of us, so we can our lives can be a little easier. So
yeah, so if you're an app builder, if you're thinking of building an app and you want access to our SDK, we give it you definitely get some of the access completely for free forever, and some of it is for like early developers. You get it for nothing almost. So any app developer can just embed this.
You want this to be accessible to everyone. You want
That's right.
people to have
Yeah.
wow, I mean, yeah, this is so what's so right now, the company right now, what like what's any, let's say recently, what's any big anything big milestones, any, like, let's say in the past few months, anything happened in the company, any celebrations, anything like because listen, hopefully the virus, I mean the virus with in regards to parking, that obviously has stopped, people are driving again. So you guys are back on track. Anything recent happened that you want to share?
Yeah, so I mean, we're now at the stage of being. We crossed the $500,000 in this raise. That's substantial. It makes it makes a big difference for us, of course. The as far as closing customers, so I said we had a good kickoff for the new car manufacturer that we started working with, and yeah, we had very, I would say, a very strong beginning to the year. We
Yeah.
have amazing guys that we acquired last year and then joined us recently. A very successful entrepreneur who sold his company for an undisclosed amount, but a very large undisclosed amount.
Mhm.
Elad Benjamin Rubin, he became our chief operating officer. And so I'm a tech guy, what do I know? I
Yeah.
learned by mistakes, but he
Right.
actually did this already for a number of companies. And so he really made this a very, how do you say, made our company much more scalable. So
Right.
we can really grow quickly. So we have a fantastic team and amazing opportunities. It's so all I can say is, you can never know what the future bring, even though
No.
I'm in the business of prediction.
Hmm.
So the
I
business
like
of
that.
prediction tells the business of prediction tells me something with some certainty. But we have so many of the right ingredients in this soup
Right.
that I'm very optimistic for this year.
Well, Um, I'm very first of all, I'm very excited for you and for the company because it doesn't seem like you're gonna stop anytime soon until you get what you want. And in a way you already got to a place where I mean people are you're helping people are using it, and it's only gonna get better. The only more people want to find parking, not less people. It's just gonna be more and more people. So wow, yeah.
Yeah, when there are autonomous cars, the autonomous cars also
Oh,
need
for
to find
sure.
parking.
Oh, for sure.
And we're positioned to be that supplier of data for them.
That that is amazing. Now, wow. Um, I don't know what else to say, but listen. Th this technology, this technology allows people to find parking bef before they get somewhere, and it changes the whole game, for everyone. So, yeah, I think, I mean, I'm trying to think of any more things, any more questions that the audience would like to hear. But I mean, I think you gave an amazing overview of what the company is, where it came from, um, you know, what it does, how it finds parking, and obviously the many more things that you can do with this technology, which you're using. Um, and wow, they Eyal, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for honestly for being the first, because you took a little chance, but this is something that anyone who listens to this, they're gonna. I mean, I didn't know it existed. I don't think many people know that it exists, but now people will. So that's why we're here. But you've been amazing. Thank you so much for your time. And I cannot wait to see where this goes, to follow the company and see where it goes. It's exciting. It's really exciting.
Thank you, Shaul. Thank you for the invitation and
Of course.
thrilled to be here and grateful and good luck.
Thank you so much. And maybe we'll be back again, when when the company gets bigger, or something else happens. We always want to hear about it.
Yeah, if people have questions, they should feel free to contact me. Easiest is to send me an email at corporate@parknav.com.
Amazing.
It's very, very easy. I read it every day. My team also reads it, so
Amazing.
we will respond quickly.
I love it. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks. Take care.